Hi, I'm Steven, the calculator guy, founder of DeFi Dojo Discord, and today we're just going to look at a few of my favorite delta neutral atom strategies. Why Atom, you might be asking yourself? Well, because I have been in delta neutral strategies for over a year now, and the ones that have been consistently good month over month have been from the Cosmos ecosystem, with few exceptions. I mean, Hubble on AVAX, I've been in that for half a year now. That one has been phenomenal at roughly 35% annualized. But aside from that one, Cosmos has just been a consistent winner in terms of delta neutral specific strategies. Why delta neutral, you might be asking? You can do any of these strategies long if you have a long bias towards Atom. I don't have a short bias towards Atom, and I don't have a super long bias towards Atom either. Right now, I am not sure which direction the markets are going to go. We have seen a quite a bullish past few let's say weeks, and I don't mind opening a few delta neutral positions while also having some long positions on the side. So this is delta neutral specific, but if you want to open any of these as long, of course you can do that. There's no reason not to. Okay, so let's just jump right in. Osmosis clearly is a host for plenty of single side exposure Atom LPs, right? You have Atom, ST Atom sitting at 25% APR. The very interesting thing about Atom, ST Atom is that it used to be fully incentivized with the Stride token. Now it's incentivized with the ST Atom token and the Stride token. So you're getting about half your incentives in Stride, but now you're getting about half your incentives in ST Atom, which is amazing. This is a really, really cool feature because now you're literally just increasing your Atom stack without having to put sell pressure on the Stride. So I think this is phenomenal. This is a really, really cool thing that Stride has done. And it makes this, one, put less sell pressure on Stride, and two, give you an asset that you might already want long exposure to. This is a very cool LP. Now, one thing to consider here is that even though it says 25.8% APR, if we go over to Stride zone, you can see what the intrinsic APR of ST Atom is. I believe around 22%, but let's just make sure. They're quoting us 21.72%, so right around 22%. That means in this LP, you're also getting an additional roughly 10.5%. So 20.8 plus 10.5 ends up being around 36.3, right? 36.3. That's a great yield for your long Atom. And again, about half that yield you're getting in terms of ST Atom. So let's neutralize it really quickly to see sort of what we would get. Now, I have historically neutralized on Helix because Helix had the best rates. But if we go over to the Helix app, I'm not sure if it'll show me Helix.activity. Yeah, sure. Helix has switched its bias pretty dramatically. So it was going pretty well for a long time. Go to funding payments, you can see. And for the past, I don't know, couple of weeks, I was paying nearly 30 cents per hour to keep my shorts open. And this is in a time where most other places had positive funding on Atom. So I did finally today close my shorts on Helix. And then, of course, I used my extended funding rate comparator to see where the best place to short Atom was. Lo and behold, MEXC. Now, as you guys probably know, I have an affiliation with MEXC, so I do have a bias here, but we can look under any time frame, and MEXC tends to be the clear winner. So if we look over a 20-day time frame, I hope I'm right on this, could totally be wrong, haven't checked 20 days. On a 20-day time frame, yes, MEXC is still the winner. Under a 5-day time frame, let's see, so more recently, MEXC is still the clear winner. So let's say that we're shorting at 3x leverage. You can do 2x or 3x or 1x, totally up to you. I wouldn't go past 3x because then a 19% price increase, which can happen overnight, could liquidate you. 3x is still pretty risky. 2x is relatively safe if you're checking every day. 1x, you can check once every other day and still most likely be totally fine. So let's say the spot yield, 35%. So this means that your short and your long are effectively getting the exact same yield. So this is really cool. Your delta neutral position would be roughly 35.44%. If you want to sign up for MEXC, please use the affiliate link down below. You will get a discount on your fees, and you'll be contributing to the DeFi Dojo ecosystem as well as charity. So something to consider. Now, that is not the only yield we're going to talk about today. It's a nice one, it's a great one, and it's one of my favorites, and I'm even in it. You can see right now I have an Atom SG Atom pair open, just because this one is a consistent play. Stride has been very good at incentivizing this. They always renew their incentives, and now they're even getting nuanced with their incentives with the ST Atom. So I am perfectly comfortable in this position, even if there are some other higher yield opportunities. This one I believe has the most longevity. At least for the time being. There are a couple more I'm going to mention that I really like that we will see if they have longevity. Here's the next one, right? So let's talk about Staked Atom. This is one that I used to talk down about, and I hate to say it, but it's because persistence incentivizes in strange ways. Historically, persistence has incentivized purely in Atom, and this has dried up their incentives. The incentives didn't work very well. But now they're sort of taking a leaf from Stride's book, and they're incentivizing in Staked Atom. So 100% of your yield here is coming in the form of Staked Atom. This is very cool. It also makes a lot more sense. So instead of giving people Atom, stake the atom you're going to incentivize with and just give them staked atom, which means you're increasing the TVL of staked atom, increasing your staked share, which they're getting revenue from, fee revenue, and they can use that as incentives instead of atom. This makes way more sense. I'm glad they switched to this model. And look at all the liquidity they've gotten. So previously they were barely able to get like a couple 100,000, and now they're at 1.1 million. Congratulations, persistence. This new incentive model is working. I think it's really good. I hope you guys can keep it up for a long time. Very similar to the last one. You have 39.2% here. You're getting paid in appreciating atoms. So this is really cool. So like your rewards are increasing by 22% intrinsically as well. That's super cool. On top of that, you're getting about 11%, right? So 22 divided by 2, 11%. So roughly 50% on long here. Very interesting in my opinion. So 50%, we go back over to our calculator, we type in 50%. I would still short on MaxC, of course. Looks like you're getting around 46.69. Now you are beholden to the whims of the incentives here, right? Without incentives, this becomes an 11% APY position, worse than staking. At 11, let's just say there are no incentives. 17.4% delta neutral is pretty amazing, but not nearly as good as 46.69. This sort of makes the opportunity cost worth it, in my opinion, for Atom. So yeah, very interesting. If you want to sort of follow the incentive systems, go to governance, participate in those conversations on the forums, and you will almost always know ahead of time where the incentives are going to go. So that's one thing to consider, but clearly they've attracted a lot of liquidity here. It seems like there's a lot more faith in this particular LP. That makes me excited for persistence. I'm glad they're finally getting some momentum, because persistence is not a bad protocol. They've just, they've fallen behind a lot of the other ones, the ones that are like newer and sexier. So I'm excited to see this happen. So that's number 2, is stake atom pair. Don't worry, we're not only doing LPs, but we're doing LPs first. So the next one I want to show you is a newer one that recently changed their system up. This is Atom Q Atom. So Atom Q Atom is using the old model that Stride used to use. So instead of incentivizing with like Q Atom, which maybe they'll one day do, they're currently incentivizing with Quick, which is their proprietary asset of Quicksilver. Now, Quicksilver is really cool, and I'm going to take a moment to actually talk about them and their mechanics specifically, because I respect them immensely for what they've built. Quicksilver, they were like in the process of launching for a very, very long time, and they had delays after delays after delays, and there's a reason for that. Whereas Stride and Persistence have incredibly user-friendly mechanisms for staking, in my opinion, Stride being number 1. Stride has a very, very user-friendly mechanism. Quicksilver went through great pains to really embrace the ethos of allowing people to choose their validator and have that feeling of participating in governance, and really sort of be a member of the Cosmos community while liquid staking. So, if you delegate to Stride, you can't really choose your validator. Same thing with Persistence, but with Quicksilver, we go over here. Let's go to the app. I already have it open. Let's say I want to delegate to Cosmos. I have more Atom than this. Oh, in my Atom wallet. Sure, this is fine. Let's say I want to stake my 0.7 Atom from my Cosmos wallet. You can choose your validator. Now, this is a big deal for people who are really deep within the Cosmos ecosystem, because you can delegate to smaller validators. You can delegate to validators with different fee levels. You can delegate to your favorite validator. You don't have to rely on the protocol to delegate for you. And they may have like a sweetheart deal with the validator. They may be getting paid by validators to delegate to them specifically. This puts the power back in your hand, and I really appreciate this. And I understand it took a lot of work from Quicksilver to be able to get this done, but it's certainly something that I appreciate. So here, I'll just go over a few of my favorite validators. Crypto Crew is an amazing validator. They won Game of Chains, and that was no easy feat. So they're a team based out of Austria. They run all bare metal validators. They are phenomenal. Very, very, very good team. Another one is Friends. So Friends, they're all over the place. They host Cosmoverse. They're just a group of incredibly friendly individuals who run, consistently excellent validators. They're always willing to help anyone in the Cosmos ecosystem, and I would highly recommend them. They were the first, I think the very first validator I ever delegated with. Another one, can't not mention Donku Zone with Dyke. I'm a huge... I hate to say that because it sounds like I'm using some sort of like epithet. Not trying to. Hopefully this doesn't get flagged for me saying that. But both DAIC and Donku Zone are great. Donku's been a Twitter friend of mine for a long time. He made some of the best content, in my opinion, relating to the Cosmos ecosystem. And DAIC, they run very good validators. They're also based out of... I'm not sure if it's Austria or Germany. I'm pretty sure it's Austria, but either way, that's another really good validator. And then finally, another one that I like is Strangelove. So if you're in the Cosmos ecosystem, you know Strangelove. This one is by Jack Zemplin and his sort of team. These are going to be great validators, great infrastructure. He's a Cosmos OG, very deeply invested in all of the things related to this sort of universe, one might say. So anyways, you have a lot of good choices here. You can choose them. And the cool thing is you can like choose a bunch of them if you wanted to. And then, well, yes, I don't want to delegate to those inactive validators and active ones, but then you can weight it. So let's say you like one validator more than another one. Now, it has been said that potentially for delegating to smaller validators, you may get an airdrop in the future, or may get some sort of additional incentives, or maybe those validators will airdrop the airdrops to Quicksilver, and Quicksilver will distribute those based on knowing who you delegated with. So again, this mechanism really excites me. So, shout out to Quicksilver. I think they've built something really amazing. All right, but back to the pool, right? This is paid out in Quick, so you are beholden to the value of Quick. If Quick goes down, if Quick goes up, these incentives will sort of reflect that, and they're on like a rolling basis. So you can see right here that there are 57 days remaining in this particular incentive season or epoch. They've attracted 2.4 million, which is really impressive for like a newer protocol. I mean, people in the Cosmos ecosystem definitely know about Quicksilver because of all of the effort they put into building this very robust liquid staking mechanism. But still, 2.4 million is impressive in my opinion. So 44.6% plus that 11% does get you to 56%. And at 56%, which is technically the highest, you're going to be around 51% delta neutral. Now, some things to consider. With all of these opportunities, you will most likely get a discount on the asset you're buying to LP with if you use Osmosis. So let's just use Stride as an example. If I go over to Swap and I wanted to buy Atom, ST Atom, and let's say I wanted to use 100 Atom. For 100 Atom, I get 88.4177 ST Atom. Now, if we go to the Stride and I stake 100 Atom, I get 88.28. So by swapping, I get 0.2 more. 0.2 is not much, but I do get a better deal. So why would I not just go here? That's a great question. Now, we can do this with every single one to see where the discounts are, where the discounts are not. For example, if I do like STK Atom and do 100, you can see I get 94.19. Now, if I go over to Persistent, yeah, I'm gonna have to go DeFi longer for this one. If we go to persistence, you can see what you get, and you always want to go where the best deal is. Generally, it's buying because most of these liquid stake derivatives hover slightly under peg because that's why they're liquid, right? That's the benefit of them being liquid, is you can sell them. But you can also redeem them. So it's not like if it goes under peg, you can't just redeem it for the full value later on. That's what I do. When I enter the position, I tend to buy spot, but when I exit the position, I just unstake it. And sure, that takes a few weeks, but I'm in no rush. These are long-lasting yields. And generally it's worth it. If it's not worth it, if I'm only going to get like another 0.5%, I'll just sell it. But if I'm getting another 1%, oh yeah, I will definitely unstake for that 1% over 28 days. Okay, so Cosmos, again, we're just trying to see if we did 100, we get how many STK atom. I don't think we get 100 atom, 100 STK, but if we do, then this is a better deal here. So let's connect wallet, Kepler. Perfect. It's a 1-to-1 exchange rate? Okay, so this would be the best place. I am amazed that this swap is so bad considering they have $1 million of liquidity. So 1 atom, is this accurate? Yeah, it says it is. So if this is right, and I suppose it might be, I guess we'll have to trust it. It doesn't seem right because I thought these were all liquid stake derivatives that were interest increasing, not rebasing, and the only reason it would be 1 is if it was rebasing. But I digress. We'll have to trust this for now. I would say that double check this because it might not be accurate. Maybe it's loading a little bit slower than usual, but it might be accurate. So double check this. Nevertheless, we can also check on like Quicksilver. Can I undelegate? Oh, the problem here is that they make me go through the entire process first. Let's just go with, say, Donku really quickly. Let's see how far I can get. So 1 will mint me 0.797640. So I take that right number and I do equals 1 divided by that number. We get 1.024. So that's how much you want per 1. Now go back over here. Now you cannot buy Q atom on regular osmosis. This is sort of like one thing you might have noticed. You can, however, do this on Frontier. So Frontier is like the hidden secret osmosis that many of you might not know about. Hopefully some of you do, but you might not all know about it. So let's go to Q atom and let's do, again, 100. And you would expect to get, let's see, you get 97.07759. Let's see again the math. If you stake, oh, well, I guess this is easy, right? Equals 100 times, you get 97.64. So 97.64 versus 97.07. 97.64. Oh, so technically you do better by staking. So it is worth staking. And I'm not sure if the airdrop qualifications already happened, but if you do stake directly through Quicksilver, not only do you get a better deal, it seems, you will also potentially qualify for future airdrops depending on who you delegate to. So that's really cool. Now that we've sort of exhausted all of the osmosis opportunities, and one thing to consider here, by the way, if you guys aren't familiar with osmosis, when you do LP, to get the incentives, you will have to max bond, so bond for 14 days. And when you do that, then you will qualify for the incentives, but you're locked in there for 14 days. When you unstake, then it takes 14 days to unstake, and then you can remove your liquidity. Now you can stake for a short amount of times, but you will not get any rewards at all. So really 14 days bonding is the requirement here in order to make sure that you're getting the yield that you want. So if you're shorting, another reason not to short at high leverage, because you can't exit your long very, very quickly. If you short at low leverage, pretty easy to stay safe for longer periods of time. All right, now let's look at Mars. Okay, here we go. Now we're getting good data. I was wondering what was going on there. So for 100, you get 94.23. Let's go back over here, 94.2. I think it's about the same. So all of these are roughly at parity, which is a good sign. I mean, there's really high liquidity, so you would sort of expect them to be roughly at parity. When there's low liquidity, let's say 94.19 here, 94.2. So you actually do better staking. This is really cool. It looks like some of these are actually getting a lot of buy pressure on osmosis. People are more interested in buying than they're interested in selling. So this is kind of a good sign for these LSTs in the Cosmos ecosystem. Now let's go to Mars, because there are two other strategies that I sort of want to expose you guys to. The first one is the atom loop. Now, atom loop and the ST atom loop are both viable options here. The atom loop is almost full, right? You can see here that these APRs have to be wrong, right? It can't be that low. If it is, this is no longer a viable strategy. This was way higher. If this is accurate, then interestingly enough, the ST atom loop is the way to go. It looks like UIs are just disagreeing with me today. Yesterday this was around 20%. Today it's at 5%. Nevertheless, let's just talk about the ST atom one that we know the math works out on. So with ST atom, we know that it has an intrinsic yield of 22%. So if you deposit ST atom and borrow atom, convert that to ST atom, and collateralize that and continue that process, you can leverage up that ST atom 22% yield. So the max LTV here is 54.5%. So let's enter the metrics into one of my calculators. So ST atom, good. We know the borrow APY is -9. What is it? -9. 12.42. Rough. Increasing. So -12.42. Still, we'll see if it works out, right? If it's worthwhile. 12.42%. Okay. 42. The LTV is 54%, and you might not want to do LTV that high, but you should be fine because you always end on a deposit. Now, the lend APY is, I think, 0. They don't pay you anything for lending. Yeah, it's 0. 0% interest. So we'll just do 0 there. The liquid staking is 22%. So if you loop, no, I don't know if you loop 100 times, but if you max loop, you would get 33.25%. Now, you can see the number of loops, right? You get to 33% after 7 loops. You get to 30% after 3 loops. You don't really have to do max loops, max leverage to get there. Just a few loops really gets you pretty close. Even if you just did 7 loops, it's 33.1, very, very similar. Okay, so that's decent, right? 33%. And the cool thing is you're not reliant on external rewards at all. It says 100% just increased value in your ST atom. You don't have to do anything as long as the borrow rate, which is pretty high right now. Generally, this is a little bit lower. Actually, no, this one does have around 12%, 12 to 10%. As long as this 12 to 10% stays below 22%, you're making money, right? You don't have to manage it. You don't have to worry about liquidation. You just have to, leave it there, and you're making 33%. Again, if we neutralize that 33%, we're going to get around 33% because of the funding rate. So 33%, look, 33.94%. That's a very easy strategy to participate in. One thing you might consider over on Mars is, let's look at the farm, right? There is this ST atom farm. Very enticing, very interesting. You can leverage up ST atom, potentially getting up to 57.85% intrinsic APY, or sorry, farm APY plus, right, plus that 11%. So you'd really be getting around 68%. This is arguably the best opportunity available, but the vault is capped right now because it can only take $150,000 at the moment. Now, if you want the real alpha, right, the super secret sauce alpha, you will go and join the Mars Discord and participate in Mars governance and watch for when that vault cap is going to be increased and be one of the first people to enter. The cool thing about these vault cap increases is usually you have a few minutes, maybe even up to 30 minutes to an hour to enter before they reach their cap. So if you really want that alpha, if you're really chasing the best yields, you want to be like one of those competitive PvP yield seekers, the place to do that is going to be in governance and in Discords, right? Absolutely. Okay, cool. So this is one of them. The last one we're going to talk about is a similar strategy with another pretty good return. So we just saw that ST atom is about 66.5% used. So it has some availability. Here we go. This is the number I was looking for. So the cool thing about this position with 19% APR is that they have a higher LTV, so 68%. So let's go back over and change the numbers. Let's say instead of 22%, it's not liquid staking at all, but you are getting 19% from lending. It's going to be Atom, and it's, what was it, 68%? So it's pretty much the same yield, but the major difference is, one, there's no room available, and two, this yield comes in form of Mars. So if you're long Mars, this would be preferable because you think that your yield is going to increase in value over time. If you're just long Atom, then the ST Atom play is definitely better. And the ST Atom play is the only one available right now because Atom is 98.63% full. All right, last strategy. And by the way, some of these strategies exist on other LP places, so you might want to go to like Crescent and check them out because they also have they have concentrated liquidity for some of these ST Atom pairs. Maybe they also have Q Atom, I don't know. But Osmosis is not the only DEX in the Cosmos ecosystem. They usually have the highest liquidity and generally get pretty decent incentives, but they're not the only one. And some of the smaller DEXs have really good opportunities. Now let's look at UMI. So UMI has a very interesting opportunity, right? They have ST Atom. They actually pay you 0.02% for collateralizing there, and they have very competitive Atom borrow rates at 9.86%. So if we look over here, let me see, like, what is the max APY? I forget where I find that, but it is available. Dashboard, can I click it? I know they tell me somewhere. I want to say it's 72%. Well, it's not showing up immediately. That's totally fine. Maybe I go to markets. Can I click on it? Yeah, here we go. So liquidation threshold 73%, maximum LTV is 69%. So let's go ahead and put that in. Again, liquid stake APY 22%, 0.02%. Change this to ST Atom just for clarity's sake. And then max interest, we can do 69% with a decent liquidation buffer. And here it's negative 86, something like that. Negative 9.86. And so the loop yield here is 47.07%. This loop yield is more competitive than the loop yield on Mars, not necessarily as competitive as some of the yields we're looking at with LPing. The additional hassle here, of course, is that you have to loop, and looping can be frustrating. Looping can be annoying. Looping is a pain in the butt. There are ways to cheat loop if you want to learn about how you can cheat loop and loop all in one transaction or a couple of transactions rather than like having to go through it over and over again. Join the DeFi Dojo Discord. We can help you to do that. If you want other yields similar to these ones, go ahead and join the DeFi Dojo Discord. We are always talking about strategies and interesting yields over there, and we try to be on the cutting edge of things happening in the Cosmos ecosystem as well as other ecosystems. So I think I mentioned in my last video, but in case you didn't watch that one, we have moved to a 1-week free trial instead of a 1-month free trial. One of the reasons for that is that anyone can now access the arena, which is where our top DeFi users post strategies, and those strategies compete for rewards on a monthly basis. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do not forget to check out the other DEXs in the Cosmos ecosystem to see if there are other competitive yields. If you find a yield better than the ones I mentioned, one, you may want to keep it secret if it can't handle a lot of TVL. I totally respect that. But two, if it can handle some TVL, let me know in the comments so that I can talk about other strategies. If it's a really good one, maybe I'll give you a free pass. Who knows? To the DeFi Dojo. Anyways, thanks so much for watching and have a wonderful rest of your day.